Hi, I'm Kevin. This is my wife, Heidi, and this is our story.
December 1st, 2022, we were laying in bed looking at Kevin's phone, and we had been talking about taking our teenage kids on a missions trip. And so I had sent Kevin a link to a site concerning some foreign missions trip, and we were looking at his phone and talking about it, and throughout the conversation somehow the phone ended up in my hand, and I minimized the tab while we were talking and swiped away, and there was revealed to me some pornography.
The guilt and the shame was horrific.
I didn't handle it well. I felt like in that moment I didn't know who I was married to, and I just said, leave, you have to leave now. My reaction was really profound. Like, I did not have grace for Kevin at the moment of discovery, and I was confused, angry. It was a very low point in my life, and why that experience I think was so profound, or why I know it was so profound, is because when we were first married, it was a small wedding. He had just started a position with a federal agency, and we got married before we moved across the state for him to take the job. The next day we were loading things into a moving truck, and Kevin's phone was sitting on the kitchen counter, and he was taking some boxes out to the moving truck, and his phone was ringing. And I'm really not the type to pick up somebody's phone, but just something told me to pick it up, and I did, and on the other end of the phone was a young lady.
I arrived to our relationship with a lot of sexual brokenness, with a lot of shame, with a lot of pain from my past, from my childhood, from my military trauma that I had never dealt with. And so I was using pornography and lustful behavior, promiscuity, to deal with that pain. So through that pain, I thought getting engaged and getting married would heal my problems, my addiction, my lustful nature, and my interaction with women. It did not. And so at a bar one night, I met a lady and proceeded to be physical with her for the next few months, again, while Heidi and I were engaged.
Kevin first denied it, and then came to admit, yeah, he had been seeing somebody while he was away. We were in this crappy rent house, and I think within the next day or two, he had his first mission trip out of town, and here I was left by myself. And that was so hard, because I really felt even more betrayed by God in a lot of respects in that moment. Fast forward to December 1st, 2022, that moment, it brought me right back to me on my hands and knees in that crappy rent house. As confusing as it was, and how I didn't understand how I had, I felt like I had fasted and I had prayed, and like this was the guy that I prayed about, and I was always so confused. And then my counselor told me one day that was really profound for me. She said, Heidi, you did all that. Don't you think God had the power to stop it from happening, from stopping you from getting married, from revealing, don't you think God had the power to reveal it prior to you saying I do? And I said, yeah, of course. And she was like, maybe think about this is the journey that God has you on for a reason. And that was so freeing. My relationship with Jesus is completely transformed. And he's so present. And it's healing me at a different level.
So after discovery and the months and years that followed, I knew I couldn't white knuckle this addiction, and I knew I had to find the root. And through lots of counseling and lots of groups, I found out that childhood trauma, military trauma, and a traumatic vehicle accident that I was in 2018, I had to come to grips and heal from those and release the shame that was consuming me from those instances. And then I could move forward in my recovery. And the way I see it, what I call it, is chasing after Jesus every day, making him the focus of everything I do. I feel like I've learned so much about this addiction through this trying time. And I look forward to sharing my story and helping others with their struggles in this area. And so, yeah, all those years of lying to you, my fear was you would leave me. But the truth is, getting it into the light only brought us closer.